It was once a way of life for black people after slavery ended, and it's now on the verge of disappearing. We're talking about farming. Land bought by freed black people and passed down through generations has methodically been stripped away by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. In the 1980s, when many black farmers fell behind on federal loan payments, the USDA didn't offer the same assistance as it did to white farmers. Instead, black farmers had their land sold to white farmers to pay off the debt. In the 1920s, the height of black farming, African Americans accounted for 14% of U.S. farmers. Today, that number is down to less than 1.5%. In a span of 50 years, farmers lost more than 36 million acres of farmland. The Center for American Progress released a report saying systematic racism at the USDA has virtually eliminated black farming. They called for solutions to address the structural racism of previous U.S. farm policies. President Joe Biden answered that call. The Build Back Better plan, which is in jeopardy, included several $1 billion in loan forgiveness and other relief for distressed and disadvantaged farmers. Earlier this year, the Biden administration unveiled a $4 billion relief plan specifically for minority farmers in the American Rescue Plan. White farmers sued for reverse discrimination. So now, that assistance is stalled. But this is not a sad story about how black farmers are having their livelihoods stripped away, piece by piece. Black farming is slowly increasing since the 1990s. Somehow, black farmers are still getting it done, despite having the odds stacked against them. Tonight, we want to highlight one of those farms. Fortree Acres has been owned by the Williams family since 1916. And joining us tonight, Tyrone Williams and his wife Edna, who manage the Fortree Acres farm in Halifax County, North Carolina. Welcome to you both. Thank you for joining us. Tyrone, let's start with you. Your grandfather started this farm in 1916. Did he buy the land or was it given to him?
Actually, and thank you so much for this opportunity. Nayyera, my grandfather purchased 38 acres of land in 1916 for like $864. And that was a great feat for anybody during that time, but particularly for an African American, and being able to hold on to it through the generations to where we are right now.
And Edna, you and Tyrone have been together for 40 years. What has that journey been like as a family, knowing the challenges that black farmers have faced over the years?
Well, I was married, into the family farm, and the challenge for me is, getting to know the operations of the farm once Tyrone took over the charge of managing the farm. And one of the ways that I got myself involved was I joined something called Her Forest or Forest Her, which helped to engage women into woodland stewardship.
Mm-hmm. You talk about engaging women. How important has it been to engage another generation of black people in farming, given all the other opportunities there have been to leave the land and go elsewhere?
Well, we believe that once we start to look at farming differently than our ancestors had to look at it, certainly we would be much, much further along in this journey on our farm had my grandfather probably not faced some of the challenges that he faced during his lifetime in farming. But we're looking forward. And so what we're saying is that we believe that it's a journey that African Americans need to look at, not from the standpoint of how ancestors had to look at it in terms of sharecropping and slavery, but more from a total business aspect that can be sustainable.
Well, you sustained your farm through the Jim Crow era into modern day. What resources were you able to draw on to stay viable as a business?
Well, as you mentioned, we started managing the farm in 1992. I actually didn't farm. this was after I retired in 2013 that I got actively, earnestly engaged in the farming and the business of the farm. But we've been able to access several programs. There's a program, I believe it's in 8 states now, that's called the Sustainable Forestry and African American Land Retention Project, which has been a great help to us. Also, there is a program out of Mississippi, Winston County Self-Help. It's called the Black Century Landowners Recognition Program. And so those have been some support systems, along with some help that we've been able to get from USDA, from NRCS, Natural Resource Conservation Service, through their programs, and just a variety of other programs that we've been able to access that have been very beneficial for us so far.
And I can say that those collaborations and partnerships has helped us to establish the framework that we have in order to make us successful.
Farming in America has been heavily subsidized by the federal government, but that is the story of white farmers. What's the story of black farmers, and did that change with the first black president of the United States?
Well, I really can't address whether that changed or not, but what I can address is, for us, this belief system that we have, and what we really believe is that how we all can come together and believe in the existence, actually, of black farmers. Your stats showed that black farming is on the increase, and I think all of it starts with belief in our existence, belief in our commitment to sustainability, and belief in the struggles of our ancestors to hold on to land such that we did. We know that there's been a lot of black land loss, but we want to try to do our part to ebb that, not just for our farm, but to spread the message to help other farmers that look like us to be able to keep their land and pass it on for generations.
Well, I ask about President Obama because folks should know that the same USDA Secretary, Tom Vilsack, that was in the Obama administration has now come back in the Biden administration, and he is partly responsible for the agenda that is trying to build back better for black farmers. But I appreciate both of you, Edna and Tyrone, for joining us and reminding us of how identity and land are so closely tied together, folks. Tyrone and Edna Williams are the managers of the Centennial Family Farm, 4 Tree Acres. Thank you again.